You put a Ninja 650 superbike motor in a cruiser? Are you out of your Vulcan mind? Kawasaki Vulcan S, 120 on the front, 160 on the back. Why would you buy one of these? Well, 62 horsepower, 42 foot-pounds of torque. This has got 5.1 inches of treble in the front. If you really behave yourself while you're riding, you're going to see a little ECO symbol appear. When that appears, you are getting maximum fuel efficiency. And if you just train yourself to ride that way and make that little sign appear, you're going to find your fuel efficiency is very, very good. So we ride responsibly. The little ECO button should come up if we're doing our job right. And if it does, that means for every rev, we have saved 5 or 6 polar bears. 20 less horsepower than the Rebel 1100 and 20 less foot-pounds of torque. Why am I comparing it to the Rebel 1100? Well, that's a really good point. The Rebel 1100 comes in at about $9,700 new. Brand new, this comes in with ABS right around 78-ish hundred. So it's about $2,000 cheaper. And what do you get? Here's the interesting thing about this. You know, performance-wise, it's very similar to the Rebel 1100. Yeah, the mid-range is real nice. You can feel it. You can feel the mid-range of the gear. Hear it? Oh yeah, it sounds awesome. I like the 9,500 RPM red line. We're going to take it on the highway, and we're going to give it the goose. Why didn't you say give it the beans? Because I had to change it up. Every once in a while, you just got to change it up. See what it does. The turn signals are not self-canceling, by the way. You should know. Alright, I'm 5th gear doing 70. I'm at 6,000 RPMs. Let's see if we can settle it down. 6th gear doing 70. I'm at about 5,500 RPMs. That's not bad. It's a very light bike. It's only 500 pounds. It's, I think, 496 pounds wet, something like that. It's about the same as the Rebel 1100. Yeah, I keep bringing that up because they're so similar in statistics. You can't help but point it out. The 0 to 60 on this is 4.2 seconds. The Rebel 1100 DCT is right around 4.1 seconds. This is very, very close. And it gets the same MPG just about. This is sitting at 47 miles per gallon on average. The Rebel 1100 is 48. So, again, why would you not consider buying one of these? And looking for 7th, it is not there. The bike's super stable, feels really good. Motor, yeah, you get good torque even at 6th gear. That's awesome. It's not just a token overdrive. 6th gear has some bones to it, which is great. My Thunderbird 1600's like that, actually. The 6th gear in it also gives you plenty of torque. And this is the same way. The soundtrack on the motor sounds amazing to me. Get a 120 on the front, 160 on the back. I believe the Rebel 1100 gives you a 130 and a 180, so the tires are fatter. But when it comes down to performance, I don't think that's going to make a huge amount of difference. You've got 2 inches longer on the wheelbase. This is a 62-inch wheelbase, which gives a little more stability in a straight line. It sounds really good. Now, my foot position is much more comfortable than the 1100, I will say that. Much, much more comfortable. The way the 1100 was, the tank is so narrow on all the Rebels. I test rode all 3 of them. You can watch those videos if you like. I do like Honda. I love Honda. And the Honda Rebel 300, 500, 1100, they were amazing bikes. They really were. They were awesome bikes. There were some things I totally nitpicked about, but I was nitpicking because that's what you do when you review bikes. There's always going to be something about a bike you don't like. And the only thing I didn't really like about them, other than the lack of self-canceling turn signals, which on this is a wash because these don't cancel either, was the foot and knee position. I felt like I was eating my knees, and I'm not a very tall person. On this, I don't. These foot pegs are adjustable. You can put them forward, so it doesn't matter how tall or short you are as a rider. You can put these where you want. The other thing I like about this is I can get my knees, squeezing my knees around this tank. So when I feel like I want to lean it, you know, I feel like I want to get down on it. When I feel like I want to lean into a corner,
I got my knees around the tank and I feel stability. I feel a sense of control. The Rebel 1100, it's a little scooter-esque in that regard. To get your knees around it, you have to bow your feet out a little bit for me, just because of the way the bike is designed. And it seems like the Rebel series, as good as it is, and they are excellent bikes for what they each give you, as good as it is, it almost asks the rider to conform around the design of the bike, whereas this bike is conforming to the rider. Yes, the Rebel 1100 shocks are a little softer, but the riding position, the upright riding position on the 1100, I'm 5'9", I was eating my knees. And I love the Rebel series, don't get me wrong, I'm totally nitpicking. But when you're coming down to those specific things in terms of what you have to live with as a rider if you purchase one of these, I live on my motorcycles year round, so rider comfort to me, vitally important. If I was buying the Rebel 1100 or the Kawasaki Vulcan S, out of sheer comfort alone, I might side with the Kawa. That's what I would say the huge difference is between the Rebel 3, 5, 1100 and the Kawasaki Vulcan S. Same small chassis, nice torque, good torque motor in all of them. The 500 was decent. The 1100 was really good. The 650 though, I'm digging this. You know, it's the high compression. I think the compression ratio on this motor is just under 11:1. I want to say 10.8. And you feel it. You wind the gears out on this and it sort of forgives you. You know, second gear has a pretty wide berth. There's a really good overlap on the gears on this Kawasaki Vulcan S. You know, your red line is 9,500 RPM, so there's some latitude there. Pretty sure the Honda's memory serves, I'm pretty sure it was 6,500 or 7 on the red line. So having ridden all four, rode the Rebel 300, rode the Rebel 500, rode the Rebel 1100, riding this, spending a lot of time on it. And this is actually the 4th Vulcan S I have ridden. I'm just considering buying this one, so that's why I'm riding this one now. It's a 2022 and I like the way it feels. I'm considering putting a deal together to get this. Just to have a nice, light, zippy, fast, fun bike in your arsenal. This, you gotta love that. I mean, it's just got really good torque response. I got nothing bad to say about this bike. Like, I can't find anything really severely wrong with it. The seat, I don't know if this is the stock seat. If it is, it's awesomely comfortable. It's really cushy. It's good. The seat on the Rebel, all 3 Rebels, there was nothing to write home about. You'd be looking for aftermarket. And I would say this too, the Rebel 300, 500, 1100, none of those 3 I would even consider taking on a long trip. This one, possibly. Only because it's a reasonably comfortable riding position on this one. So I could see myself actually I could see myself taking this on a longer trip if I had to. It wouldn't be ideal. I'd probably take my Goldwing because I love my Goldwing. But if I had to make it work, I could make this work. It's not terribly uncomfortable at all, and the handlebars are adjustable as well. So no matter what size you are, the Vulcan S kind of fits you. I'm not trying to sell you on this bike. I'm just telling you what I think some of the positives are compared to the 3 Honda Rebels I rode. And they seem to be about in the same kind of category of bike you'd be considering if you like these lightweight but zippy, faster kind of cruisers. You can move the foot pegs wherever you want them. And you can set up these handlebars as well. So they made this bike sort of adjustable, but you know, even where they are right now, that was a very comfortable riding position. You know, you can get these used for right around $5,000, and they pack a lot in there. So you're getting really good horsepower, you're getting really good torque, you're getting a great 0 to 60, you're getting a pretty comfortable ride. Even with the monoshock, it's a pretty comfortable ride. You know, over 5 inches of travel in the front, 3.2 in the back, but you can adjust this. I kind of like it. You're getting the same gas mileage as the DCT 1100 Honda, but you're paying $2,000 less. Okay. Same miles per gallon. And it looks great. It's a sharp looking little bike. Huh. Kawasaki Vulcan S. This is, I think, the 4th one I've ridden. And every time I get on these, I'm always impressed with how much zip there actually is to these motors. Like, you wouldn't think a 650, but it does. It just kind of You pound it, it delivers, it goes. You downshift and hammer it, it goes. This is a fast, zippy little beast.
Pound for pound, the Vulcan S hits way above its weight class, in my opinion. It's so close to the Rebel 1100 in terms of performance. I don't know if $2,000 really justifies the Rebel 1100. Not when you consider comfort. You get a lot wrapped up in that little package. I don't know. Maybe we have a new Mighty Mouse. TG MotoRider, signing off.
The turn signals are not self-canceling, by the way. You should know.